Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Gaming. How's it going? I haven't made a video in a few weeks, and this is the reason why. I finally got my Blood Angel army pretty much done. As you can see, here's an overview shot. I'm gonna basically move the camera to a certain position. I'm just gonna kind of go through each unit individually, but here's a nice delightful panning shot of all the different units. So currently this army is about 4,000, just under 4,000 points. I ordered some more stuff and we'll talk about those later on. I ordered a few more things to finish it off because is an army ever truly finished? But yes, I did order a couple more things to kind of add to it. And then we'll kind of discuss some of the other Warhammer stuff that I have going on. But yeah, let's get into the unit highlights. All right, we're going to start from right to left in no particular order. We have a three-man unit of Interceptors. They just have the twin, I think there's just like Hurricane Bolter, Heavy Bolter, whatever they call these things. Basically just the twin bolters. I got the what is the Dark Imperium set where it has the Plague Marines and the Primaries when they first came out, and these guys came out of there. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't like their stands, their flying bases, and I had to drill into the flying bases and pin them into the units. I probably won't ever pick up another set of these. They were oddly annoying to paint, even though mostly they're all silver. They weren't that fun. I have no idea how good they are in battle. They might actually be really good. I haven't played a game, this is a little background, I haven't actually played a game of Warhammer 40k in about since about 2014, so it's 2019 now, so about 5 years. Yeah, it's been a while. So yes, we got our Interceptors. Let me move these on out of the way and we'll move on to the next unit. So we got ourselves two units, and I'm just going to show you. I'll show you, mainly highlight one of them. Are they dark on the camera? No, I'm trying to see if I can move this light a little bit to see if I can get them. Back them up a little. Okay, here we go. That'll be fine. The preview camera's a little dark. So we got ourselves an assault squad. Whatever. Oh, this is basically what I'm about to show you. This is a, what do they call this? I have a brigade and eventually two Supreme Command detachments is what I will have, but basically I do have the full brigade already. So we have ourselves a 5-man assault squad unit with jump packs. In here we have two plasma pistols with chain swords, two bolt pistols with chain swords, and a melta-gun. Now if you play regular Space Marines, you can't get melta-gun on assault Marines, but in Blood Angels you can, so that's pretty good. So we got, oh, knocking on over. I have an uneven table right here, and I'm losing my models on these little Apocalypse trays. I don't know how many points this army is in Apocalypse. I think I looked it up and it was just under 200, but I could be wrong. 200 power level. So we got ourselves another squad similar to that. Pretty much exact same loadout as the squad previous. This one. Apologies for that. One of my neighbors gets deliveries and the truck that parks right next to my house is really loud. So we have ourselves a second assault squad loaded out exactly the same. We got ourselves a melta-gun, two plasma pistols, and two bolt pistols. And I differentiate these by how these ones have no helmets. So that's how I tell the difference between the two. And you'll notice a theme about the bases I have. Either the bases are the GW pre-done, I forget what they call it, Sector Imperialis bases, or they're regular bases using the Martian iron crust with a little bit of a red ink on top of it to make them look a little bit more dark Martian-y-esque, as if they're fighting on kind of a rust planet. So we'll move those assault dudes out of the way. All right, let's move on to a rather interesting, so if you haven't noticed already, I have a unique habit of, well, not a unique habit, I have a habit of making Space Marines alternate colors. So these are Blood Angels, and they do have red, but I call them my silver Stalkers, if you didn't notice by the title of the video. So everything's slightly alternate color schemed. So these are Sanguinary Guard with death masks, They have the power sword. I forget exactly what the name of the power sword is. They got power sword, the bolters. One of them's got a standard. So this is actually the sanguinary ancient. So I can get the standard in there. So it's a 4-man unit of sanguinary guard plus sanguinary ancient. And we have a power fist with an inferno pistol instead of the other ones have the bolt pistol. I really like the way this color scheme turned out. This is when I first got my airbrush. I airbrushed the black, and I think it actually turned out pretty well. These wings, I absolutely hate these wings. I painted them off the model, and when I went to glue them on the model, they have such a small contact point that I had to pin them in, and pinning them in was a huge pain. But aside from that, they look pretty good. I like how they look. Some people don't like them. Some people think they look silly, and I don't know, the red with the black, but I think they look really cool. Hope you guys do as well. That this banner, let me take this guy a little closer. This banner, I don't know exactly how long it took me to paint this banner, but it took me a considerable amount of time, and I'm actually pretty happy with the banner. So some of these models in my army, I spent a lot of time painting. Some of them I painted very quickly because I wanted to get this army done. All right, let's move on to the next part. We have two 5-man squads of Death Company. And these are I call them the Ivory Death Company, but of course they're more of like a sandish color. And these are on, just like the other ones, these are on these GW 32 mil bases. And so in this squad, we got both have the same loadout. So I noticed when I use washes, even though I'm not using a glossy wash, I do get, I think this was Aggregates Earthshade. Even though it's not like pooling super heavy, I still get kind of a gloss look on some of the things I use the shade on, and some of them don't have a gloss look. And I haven't been able to tell if it's just because there's too much, it dries a certain way. I don't really add any water, so I can't think it's really, I've added water before and it gives a white color. So maybe it's just a bad pot. And no, I'm not using the glossy shade, if that's what you're thinking, because I do know the gloss shade does exist, or at least did exist for a while. But let's not get into that too much. I still like how they look in the end. So we got ourselves a Thunderhammer, we got Plasma Pistol Chainsword, we got two Inferno pistols, one with a chainsword, one with a power sword, and then we got the Power Fist Hand Flamer. And so that's how these ones, the headless dudes. And then we got ourselves same loadout, but with helmets. And I think these ones look pretty good. I think I can't remember which ones I did first. I think I did these ones first. But oh man, all the different Blood Angel, iconography, I believe is how you pronounce that. All of the Blood Angel stuff on these army, oh man, it was so stressful to paint all the little blood beads, and oh man, the regular Assault Marines were done after these ones, and I was so happy after I got because I think I did all Blood Angel specific stuff way early on. I was so much happier afterwards because a lot more like clean lines, and it wasn't as Blood Angel-y. But anyways, let's continue on. This little showcase, I think I've done a video on my channel about this dude before. So I had let me see if I can get this zoom in. Okay, so I had an army with, they were like a purple unit, and I was making like a purple-ish Blood Angels, but I went with a silver instead. But this guy still kind of retains the same purple and blue that the other army had. It's kind of still shoulder color scheme. I decided, well, since he's Mephiston and since he's a librarian, he can have a slightly different color scheme. It's not that big a deal. So I do believe Mephiston's going to get Primaris. He's going to go through like the Primaris process at some point, which would be kind of cool. Get a slightly bigger, beefier model. But until then, he's not my warlord, but he is definitely one of my HQ choices. All right, let's move on. Now we have ourselves a 10-man squad. And if you're curious as to where these are just regular Tack Marines. But let me see if I can get them in frame. Here we go. All right, so these are just regular Tack Marines. But these Tack Marines are from the Space Marine Heroes Series 1 edition. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but oh yes. So this guy is supposed to be one of the captains, one of the special character captains. But what happened is when I got the kit, I bought a whole box, they come in like a Rhino sprue. I bought a whole sprue. Oh, it's not focusing very well. Yeah, so I bought a whole sprue of these guys, a whole box, And I did get the Captain because the Captain came in a separate box. Now, in Japan, because this is where I got these from, in Japan, this guy came by himself, and then the rest of them were all, like, random. But the guy at the store, when I bought him at the GW store, said if you buy a whole Rhino kit, you're going to get all, I think it was 20 of them? I think no. Yeah, well, I can't remember. The different versions, actually, maybe 11 different versions. But anyways, he said I was going to get all of them. Which I did get all of them, but I didn't get 2 sergeants, and so I decided in this unit he's going to be my sergeant. So it's got plasma pistol, power sword, and the rest of the guys are just from the kit. So we have I think I got 2 of the flamer guys, but I only got 1 of the plasma guys. So because I did get some duplicates, but pretty much most of the unit is both the tac squads are going to look kind of similar. We got the missile launcher here, and basically just all regular tactical bolters, and I think these look really cool. The bases are very unique. These bases are only the bases that come with the Space Marine Hero set. I don't know if I have any. I think I have a couple that are still in the kit that I didn't paint or assemble because I didn't need to. I was just making two 10-man squads. But yeah. So I think these guys were kind of a rush paint job. The lieutenant in the back, well, the sergeant in the back, I actually put a lot of effort, a lot of time into him. Definitely on his cloak and everything, but the rest of them were done pretty hastily, just trying to get him out the door, trying to get him painted. All right, let's move these. Ooh. All right, let me grab this other tech squad right here, and then we'll do a little shuffle action, trying to move things around. All right, get him in frame. So now this is so when you get the Space Marine Series 1 set, or at least when you did, I don't know if you could I think you could still get some of the models that are outside Japan. And some of the models outside Japan I know for the Series 2 are different that I haven't seen before, or maybe I'm just not paying super close attention to it. But they all come with a helmeted model and a non-helmeted model. So this is how I differentiate the different squads. These ones are the guys without the helmets. So we got ourselves a grab pistol and a chainsaw, we got a heavy bolter, and then the rest, and then we got a plasma gun, and the rest are all just like bolters and bolt pistols and stuff like that. I think these guys look really cool. They really stand out. I do have 2 units of Primaris, which oddly enough, the Primaris are not from the Dark Imperium, because I did have a unit of Dark Imperium Primaris Marines, but something happened when I was painting them and I didn't like how they turned out. So I actually just binned them. Yeah, I know. I just, basically threw away $35 or however much a box of Primaris is. So I binned them, and I got a different box. I got 2 different boxes of Primaris, because I was like, well, I have so many Tack Marines, but in order to get the full brigade, I need 6 troop choices. So those 2 I've just shown you are 2 of the 6. So let's move these bad boys on over here, kind of out of the way, and let's show you one of the cool things I have. So we got ourselves a Ball Predator. I actually just finished the Ball Predator yesterday, and I finished the 2 of the vehicles yesterday and 1 of the vehicles today, actually. So I left it so I can take the top off. But I'm not a huge fan of painting tanks, mostly just because there's so many flat areas, and it's more of annoying. But these ones are all right. I did all the silver on these. I did with the airbrush, and I used the GW Air lead belcher, and then I used some thinning medium, I think it's some Vallejo thinning medium, and flow improver. Well, I used flow improver the whole time, but I used thinning medium to add iron breaker, and then the Runefang silver, which is why there's actually paint right here on my table, because I didn't use the matte. The problem is the paint is sticky. I don't know if that's normal, or if that's how it's going to be forever. Because like some of these models, they're not sticky. I don't really feel like. Could be the silver. I don't know, but maybe they just haven't fully dried. Maybe the flow improver takes days to dry, but a little sticky. And but aside from that, I think they really turned out pretty well. I went full dock on this guy. So heavy bolter sponsons. We got the storm bolter. We got a hunter killer missile launcher, smoke launchers, everything. I think smoke launchers actually come standard. One thing I really like about this is the mud I did in the treads. I mean, it wasn't a lot of effort to do the mud on the treads, but I think it turned out really well, and definitely contrasts with the silver. So got the Ball Predator. I needed 3, yeah, for a brigade you need 3 heavy support, so this is one of my heavy supports. Let's move them out of the way. And let's bring on in one of my 2 Primaris units, which these guys are actually, I enjoyed painting these guys mostly just because I could use the larger brush. I was using a smaller brush on the Tack Marines, but on these guys I use a slightly larger brush because they are a slightly larger unit. And let me try to get these little trays in there. And these guys have, these are the Stalker bolter pattern, so they're the heavy, I think heavy 1 or heavy 2, I can't remember exactly, but and they have 2 auxiliary grenade launchers, and the captain has a chain sword. And I tried to use some of the Primaris Blood Angel upgrade kits, and I noticed also that some of the, I have a lot of Blood Angel shoulder pads from both the Blood Angel Tack Squad and from the Death Company Squad, a lot of unused shoulder pads. So I basically sprinkled in throughout the entire army here. I actually tried to sprinkle in these Blood Angel shoulder pads, like this one specifically on the Primaris Sergeant here. This one is, I believe, from the, I do believe this is from one of the Death Company units. I could be wrong, but it's definitely a Blood Angel specific shoulder pad, like him. So these guys are pretty cool. I'm interesting to see. I don't plan on, I don't have anybody in this, my current local area that I want to, that I really play with. I mean, there's a GW store not too far from here, but they don't speak English very well, so no fault on them. You know, I'm in Japan, so yeah, but nothing negative. It's just I don't really know if I want to spend an afternoon trying to explain English rules and Japanese. And I have played Magic the Gathering here, which they're a little more bilingual in Magic the Gathering, but every time I go to the Warhammer store, they don't speak any English. It's mostly just me pointing out what models I want. Not a big deal. Anyway, second squad of Primary Season 1 was the assault ones. The way I differentiate these from these is I just have the different guns. So these are the ones that have the assault bolters, the assault bolt rifles, and of course the sergeant has 2 auxiliary grenade launchers, so one there, and then the sergeant has a chain sword. So Primaris done with. I'm pretty stoked about these guys. All right, so we got ourselves a Rhino. I think this Rhino was part of the first box. So yeah, this Rhino is very old. This Rhino has been sitting in my, where was it? This Rhino's been sitting in my to paint cabinet for probably, so the project overall started less than 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago, but this guy has been sitting in that box for probably longer than 2 years. I mean, obviously, probably longer than that, but yeah, I really enjoyed the Rhino. Was like the first of the vehicles I painted, and the thing I hate about painting these vehicles are the headlights. It's the silver doesn't, I don't know, it's just, I think overall they turned out fine because I did them really quickly. But yeah, we got one Rhino. The rest of the guys are foot slogging it. But the squad that's in the Rhino is these bad boys right here. These are the only Tack. These are the only Tack Marines I have. So this is the one of the troop choices. The only Tack Marines I have that are actually the Blood Angel specific Tack Marines that came out of the Blood Angel Tack Marine kit, which I don't even know if they sell them anymore. I think you can get the Blood Angel starting kit, and these guys will be in there. And I think you can get the upgrade kit to make a normal Tack squad like these. But I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, so we got ourselves a Sergeant with a Kami Melta and Power Fist. Definitely enjoy the Kami Melta Power Fist options. We got ourselves a Heavy Bolter and a Grav Gun. Very little Grav in this this army. I don't know if it's tagged. So since I haven't played in such a long time, I don't really build my armies based upon any sort of gaming. I was very aesthetic with building my armies. And I was like, yeah. And so now these are the first units I did color testing on, which is why if you look at some of the gold on the rest of the army, the gold's very muted on the rest of the army. It's almost more bronzy. But especially on this guy, I tried to like highlight the gold in three layers. Oh, let's see if I can. Yeah, I try to do like a 3-layer highlight on the gold, but and the silver on some of these is very like bright and pronounced, and the silver on some of them is not. It's just kind of how I went around painting them. And I tried to do blonde hair on a lot of them, but on the Death Company, their hair is brown for some reason. I just didn't make them blonde. All right, let me move these bad boys out of the way. All right, we're getting towards the fun bits here. Oh yeah, let's get these guys back here. So we got ourselves our 5-man squad of Hellblasters. This fills one of our heavy weapon support options, and these are just straight from the Dark Imperium box set. Nothing super special. I don't even think. So okay, so they do all have like bolt pistols. I don't know if in the rules, or do they all have bolt? Yeah, it looks like they all have bolt pistols. I don't know if the rules account for bolt pistols in these, but yeah, these are pretty quick to paint. I can't remember. I think this is the first time when I kind of went dark with the silver because I was trying to speed through these ones. But I really did enjoy these ones. Now, on almost every single one of the any one of the silver dudes, the left knee pad, so right on my side, but the left on it, is red, except for on one of these, I believe it's the original Tack Squad, the heavy bolter guys, his other knee is red, and he's the only one in the army that has the wrong knee painted, which I also think is kind of funny. But yeah, so we got ourselves a little Hellblaster unit here, and if you have been counting, we were missing a troop choice. Well, we got ourselves a Scout Sniper Squad, which I'm pretty happy with how these guys turned out. The whole, if you haven't noticed, let me back up for one moment. Take a breath. So silver, red, brown is the primary color scheme. Any cloaks or robes or things like that tend to be purple, and the hair. Oh, okay. So the hair on all these guys is blonde. So I did these ones right. And I didn't have any 25mm resin bases that I had spare, so I just had to go with the iron crust, which I think has turned out fine. But yeah, we got ourselves some scout snipers with camo cloaks, sniper rifles, and a missile launcher, which I think these guys are pretty cool. They probably won't last very long in the field of battle, but it's not a big deal. All right, let's go on to one of our, let's see, these guys right here. All right, so as far as in the brigade, as far as in the main unit is concerned, I think did these all come in the Dark Imperium box set? Or I think he didn't. I think I got him separately, but I'm not 100% sure actually. These might have all of these might have all came in the kit. I'm not 100% sure. If any of you know, let me know. So this guy right here, he's a Primaries Captain with the power sword and the master crafted auto bolt rifle. We got ourselves a Primaries Lieutenant with a power sword and a Primaries Lieutenant with an auto bolt rifle. And we have I think it's a Captain in Gravis armor. I think it's Gravis armor. And then we have a Primaris Ancient with a flag. I freaking hate that banner so much. I mean, the banner actually, like the paint job on the banner is fine. No, I hate this stupid pinpoint where the you might hold on. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Yeah. So where the hand contacts the flag, it broke so many times. I had to paint and super glue it in. It was such a pain. But yes, we got ourselves Primary Ancient. Now in the brigade, the 2 lieutenants won't be in the brigade. The Ancient is, and I believe that captain is. This Gravis armor guy definitely in here. I know he's definitely in the unit, in the main brigade. And but the lieutenants, they're in the Supreme HQ the 2 Supreme HQ detachments. And if you notice the bases, these bases are different. So I had some spare. These secret weapon? Yes, I believe these are secret weapon miniatures resin bases, and so I had some spare ones for my Tau unit that I'm building. My Tau army that's never. Well, eventually one day my Tau army, my Farsight Enclave, will get painted, but not anytime soon. So, yeah. But yeah, these are from secret weapon, and I painted them a slightly different. So, yeah. So let's move these dudes out of the way. All right, we're getting near the end. Let's see. Let's go on to this guy. So we got ourselves a Land Raider Crusader. I just finished this today. The paint is brand new, fresh dried. Is he the best he could have been? No. But I wanted to get him done. I was tired of staring at this army like almost finished. And it's such a large model. Like the Hurricane bolters, which I did all the bolters with red, and I'll never do this again. Well, I do have to build a couple more Terminators, but I'll never do this again for any other army aside from this Blood Angel armor specifically, but painting the bolters red is such a giant pain. I still like the mud. The mud's pretty good. Now this tank, he's got what, the 2 hurricane bolters. He's got the assault cannon, I think is what they call that. Hold on, let me check real quick. Twin assault cannon. So twin assault cannon, the multi-melter, oh crap, what is that thing? Hunter killer missile. He's got the frag assault launchers on the front. I painted those black. I was going to paint them. So it's funny. I was starting to paint these dudes right here. I was starting to paint them gold. Is what I originally was thinking about painting them. And then I slipped with some black, and I was like, nope, these guys are black. So I just painted them black. That's how I came to the conclusion. But yeah, so pretty minimally. There's a lot of detail not painted on here, and it's kind of intentional just because it was such a long paint job, and I was just getting a little demoralized. But yeah, I really enjoyed how this guy turned out. This part pops up, but I didn't paint the interior. Pretty much the interior is just black. I didn't really paint the interior. Wasn't too worried about it. I remember when I first built this, the door didn't open properly because I built the door wrong, and I had to fix it. Which, the frame. So the when this guy came in the box, the frame was offset slightly, and so I couldn't line it up properly. But I mean, I got him to get glued together in the end. All right, so let's talk about this little dude right here. So the entire army is painted by me, except for this guy. This guy is my Smash Captain. He's my Warlord. He's Slamginius is what I've seen him called online. But yep, Thunderhammer, Storm Shield. He's got the Blood Angel wings that replace the jump pack. So this guy is good to go, ready to smash into some front lines and take some names. Now this guy was commissioned. I didn't. Everything else in the army is painted by me except for this guy. Although similar color scheme, so I really like how it turned out. This guy was painted by Den of Imagination. I can't remember the exact dollar amount, and the dollar amounts for models changes like every couple weeks, so I really couldn't give you an accurate quote because this was done. I don't know when this. I got this like 2 or 3 months ago is when they got it to me. I think I ordered it in the early spring. And they got it just before summer started. Anyways, so what this is a combination of Blood Angel bits and then bits from Age of Sigmar, Stormcast Eternal. That's where the wings are. I think the base is something they do in-house. So the wings are definitely for Stormcast Eternal, and then the backpack is from a Sanguinary Ancient. So this unit cost, essentially, it was 3 separate kits that need to be bought to make this one guy. And I've seen this before, and I asked them to magnetize. If I can get it off. Ooh, don't break it. Okay, so yep, gotta be careful. I asked them to magnetize the wings for transport. So if I could stick them back on with that. And I think it turned out really well. Let me see. Yeah, I think this guy turned out really well. He's my HQ. He's my bro. He's my dude. Oh, careful. Don't want to mess up the wings. Anyways, so we'll set him off to the side real quick. And let's get into the last couple units. And we'll have a discussion about rules and whatnot. Now, these guys, if you have looked at any of my other painting or any of the other Warhammer videos I have on my channel, I don't have that many. But if you looked at any of them, you'll see a painting guide for this whole color scheme based upon the close combat Terminator Sergeant right there. I think he's called Terminator Sergeant. Anyways, and of course he's got his like unpainted teleport over. I painted it a little bit, but I didn't base it or anything. But yeah. So these are one of the first units I did after I did the Tack Squad. I think they turned out really well. I definitely like the close combat Terminators, and they are forebodingly terrifying. But yeah, so I definitely like how these guys turned out. These are the 5 that are riding inside the Crusader. So my plan is I might change that around. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out. I might swap that around at some point, but I definitely like the idea of these 5 dudes just busting out of the front of that Assault Terminator, or that Crusader, and just, maybe not making it across the field. Because I don't know if Terminators are really super powerful in 8th or longevity-wise. I'm not sure. I don't know if they have 2 or 3 wounds. I'd have to look at it, but I definitely like how these guys turned out. All right, now let's get into the last discussion of the video, maybe a slightly longer discussion. So we got ourselves these 6, I think 6. Let me look at how many we got here. Nope, not 6. So there's 4. So 7. So these 7 guys right here are from these. Oh, if I can get them all in a frame. Can I get them all in a frame? Let me zoom out. Yeah, can I zoom out? Here we go. Okay, so these 6 are from the Space Marine Heroes Series 2 that was initially released here in Japan. Now, I did notice online that there are Series 2 models that weren't part of these original 7, which I thought was kind of interesting. They either they released additional ones or they released additional ones for other regions. I'm not 100% sure. I just noticed today, so I haven't done hardly any research. The problem is so the guy with the banner comes in a separate painting box, and then the other 6, they're the ones that come in the random box. But if you buy the whole box, you get all 6 apparently. So we got ourselves a Flamer, one guy with a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, guy with a Storm Bolter and Power Fist. Flamer's got a Chainsword. Then we got the banner with the, I think he's got a Power Fist. Yeah, he's got a Power Fist and a Storm Bolter. We got to do with 2 Lightning Claws, a guy back there with the Typhoon Missile Launcher, and then we got what I believe is supposed to be a captain with a Kami Melta and a Power Fist. He does have kind of a sword, but I don't think it's really a sword. This guy was interesting to paint because I actually assembled him and then realized I wanted to paint between the legs, so I had to tear his back off. But so in the Blood Angel rules and the regular Space Marine rules, this unit of 7 is not a legal rule unit the way they're currently kitted out. Now apparently, I think Dark Angels, I could be wrong, but I think Dark Angels could make something similar to this with their, it's not Ravenwing, Deathwing? I think it's Deathwing maybe? Could be slightly wrong on that. But apparently someone mentioned offhand that this unit could be legally a Deathwing unit or a Dark Angels type unit. Now I looked at the rules and I was just like, I was a little annoyed, but I found out that this guy right here can be a Terminator Captain. I can run him as a Terminator Captain with Kami Melta Power Fist, no problem. This guy can run as a Terminator Captain with Twin Lightning Claws, and this guy right here I can run as a Terminator Captain with Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and this guy right here I can run as a Terminator Ancient. So let's move some things around real quick. So we have a plan for these 4. So these 4 guys can be ran in their own unit. So what I'm going to be doing is this Terminator Ancient is going to be with the brigade. He's going to be off on his own, probably hanging out with Mephiston or something. Maybe hanging around the close combat Terminators, or he's probably going to be foot slogging it around the battlefield, just, you know, inspiring the men is what the Terminator Ancient's going to do. These 3 right here, the Twin Lightning Claws, the Multi-Melta guy, and the Thunderhammer, these guys are going to be their own Supreme Command Detachment, which allows you to have which requires a minimum of 3 HQ choices. So those 3 models are the 3 HQ choices, and you can take 1 elite choice with the Supreme Command Detachment. So with these guys, I'm going to take 5. I ordered 2 more sets of regular Terminators, not close combat, but regular Terminators, and I'm going to add a 5-man squad of Terminators, and with the 5-man squad of Terminators, I'm going to put this guy in with the 5-man squad. Hold on, back in. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy in there as the 1 heavy weapon choice, because for every 5 Terminators, you get 1 heavy weapon option. Which then leaves, so out of the box of 5, 1 of them will be off on his own. I have a bunch of Thunderhammer Storm Shields left over, so the next Supreme Command Detachment is actually going to have 3 Terminator Captains with Thunderhammer Storm Shields. I'm like, all right, this is where we're going. And then these 2 little guys right here are going to be in the second 5-man elite squad attached to the other detachments. So we're going to have 2 Supreme Command Detachments, basically just all Terminators. And yeah, we'll have 2 Terminator Sergeants. We'll have 2 Terminator Heavy Weapons, 1 with a missile launcher and 1 with a Heavy Flamer. And then we'll have just a bunch of Terminators with a mix of Power Fist and Chain Fist and Storm Bolters. And so, yes, I'm not able to run this lovely 7 model unit that came out of that special set, not allowed to run it rules-wise as it is. Now, I'm pretty sure if in Apocalypse, because the way that Terminators and the way profiles work in Apocalypse, this unit would have worked just fine the way it is, because it doesn't really matter what the models are loaded out with in Apocalypse. The rules are all the same. And I think I was going to run this as a regular Terminator squad in Apocalypse, and it would have been just fine. Not too worried about that. But I wanted to be able to have the models and use them in an actual legit game without any weird shenaniganry going on and stuff like that. So I decided I'm going to add 10 more Terminators, make two separate detachments for the brigade, and then I'm going to be done with this Blood Angel army. Aside from some random Blood Angel characters that I get a hold of, and maybe when Blood Angels get a re-release sometime next year-ish, maybe. I don't know. I don't have any confirm rules on that. Maybe when Blood Angels get a re-release, I might add another unit. But as far as I'm concerned, this army, aside from the 10 Marines I'm getting, is pretty much, well, aside from the 10 Marines I'm getting and the 2 characters out of my closet, pretty much done. I might add, like, if Dante gets Primarist, if Mephiston gets Primarist, I'll probably add those guys in there just so I can have the models. And if we get any more Blood Angel specific character units that are Primarist or get new armor or something, then I'm going to add them. But as far as the rest of it, I'm not adding more Tactical Marines, I'm not adding more Primaris, I'm not adding any more Jump Assault Troops, just the 10 Terminators I ordered, and maybe a couple characters. But as far as I'm concerned, the rest of the army is completely done. And I'm pretty happy about that. Now what I have to do is I bought a bunch of transport cases, so now I can I do the pick and pull foam, so I can pick a bowl foam and set all of these models in the transport case, so when I do move, because I'm moving later on this year, I won't have to worry about this army like getting damaged in shipment, because they'll be in the foam cases. But that has been this has been a showcase of my army, and I hope you've enjoyed. It's slightly longer video, apologies for that, but it is a really big army. Once I get the last Terminators, maybe next week-ish sometime, once I get them done, assembled, and painted and everything, which might be, I can see finishing those 10 before I move. I probably won't touch any of the other models. Oh, God. Oh, I need to make it. Yeah. Oh, well, actually, let's just talk about it because I'm here. But, if you guys are wearing headphones right now, you probably noticed, but I'm on the left side of my camera, and my camera is in 2-channel audio mode, so you probably are hearing me louder in your left ear than your right. Apologies. Or right or left. I don't know how the microphone's set up. But I have, let's see, what projects do I have still left? I have my Imperial Guard that I didn't have an airbrush, so I didn't want to paint. I have a lot of tanks. I didn't have an airbrush at the time. I do have an airbrush now, but I was so in depth in the Space Marines, I didn't want to halfway stop this to continue my Imperial Guard. So I have an entire mechanized Imperial Guard. It's like 4,000 points of guard with a bunch of heavy tanks and a bunch of other vehicles and stuff, and they're just sitting there in their they're fine. They're in their transport case, no problem. I've got that unit. I have an army of Raptors that I just got because I saw the Raptors color scheme and I was like, I want to make an army with that. So I ordered a bunch of Mark IV, it's kind of like older looking kits. So I have Raptors. I have Tau because I saw the 8 in the chapter approved, and I was like, I want to make a Farside Enclave Tau army, so I have a Tau army that I have to assemble and paint. And I have, I just ordered a Catachan Air Wing that cost me a bunch of money that I really didn't need to spend, but I got inspired, so that's basically a mix of Catachan and Cadian kits. I bought a Death Age of Sigmar army, a bunch of models for that because I thought the skeletons were kind of cool. And I got custom resin bases for the oh god, I almost forgot. I have Vestroyan detachment, basically a small platoon of Vestroyans when the metal models came out. So I have Vestroyans I have to assemble and paint, and those have resin bases. I got a Death Age of Sigmar army with resin bases, and I have a Empire Age of Sigmar army with resin bases as well. So I have a massive back catalog of My pile of shame is not as big as other people's pile of shame. I haven't gone super crazy. I still feel like the armies that I did buy, I will eventually be able to paint and assemble. But yeah, so I do have a bunch of projects, but since I'm moving in a couple months, I don't really want to start any big other projects. I don't really want to assemble a bunch of other models. So aside from the 10 Terminators that I just ordered, I probably won't, and I might not even touch those. I might not do anything with those until I move and get all settled in. But that has been my Warhammer update for 2019. I don't know if I've done a Warhammer video this year. I think I may have done one with the painting guide. That may have been this year, may have been last year. Not 100% sure. But anyways, this is it. I'm gonna go get some dinner, and then I'm going to probably play some World of Warcraft Classic. Give me something to do that's not painting, and just relax. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you around next time. Goodbye.